Good morning, great Americans. It's another great American video from the bunker. Another one of my updates of old videos. Man, I was looking through my old videos and they're really bad. I hope none of you guys watch my really old videos. So wait till I update them. This is an update on a familiar thing. Now, I have another video where I compare abortion to slavery. I am going to put a link to that video in the description of this video. This video is just a real quick sort of touching on another aspect of abortion, which is human rights. I have a small little brief on rights on the website. I will also put a link to that in the description of this video. But I'm going to start off with something I never thought I would do. Now, I am no fan of the United Nations, not by a long shot. But I tell you this, when you go to the United Nations human rights webpage, which I will also put a link to in the description of this page, just so you can see it and you believe me. Human right, it's very interesting. It's even as the old saying goes, even a blind hog can find an acorn every now and then. And boy, this blind hog, the United Nations, they found an acorn. Here's what it says, and I'm reading it verbatim. What are human rights? Human rights are inherent to us all, regardless of nationality, sex, national ethnic origin, color, religious, language, or any other status. Any other status. Human rights are rights we have simply because we exist as human beings. They are not granted by any state. Boy, that sounds a lot like the founding fathers of the United States, right? Let me continue. These universal rights are inherent to us all, regardless of nationality, sex, national or ethnic origin, color, religion, language, or any other status. They range from the most fundamental, the right to life, to those that make life worth living, such as food, education, work, health, and liberty. Now, I'll take issue with the order with which their last sentence is, but it is fascinating that they should say that all human beings, regardless of all these different things, your color, your religion, or any other status, have human rights, and the most fundamental of them all is the right to life. Now, I'm going to ask you a simple question. A simple question. It's very simple. What is the baby in the woman in a woman's womb? You can put all kinds of labels on it, and it doesn't mean anything. You call it a fetus, a zygote, whatever. Those just indicate different stages of development. You know, just like a baby, a child, a toddler, a teenager, an adult, senior citizen. They're just different stages of development. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about by what I mean is species, right? Is he a cat? Is the baby a dog? Is the baby a bird? A fish? An ant? No. The baby is a human being because the parents are human beings. I mean, I shouldn't have to state the obvious, but that's the obvious. The baby in the womb is a human being, and according to the United Nations, human rights are, and I'm quoting again, human rights are rights we have simply because we exist, as the baby in the womb exists, simply because we exist as human beings. They are not granted by any state. You have them regardless of your sex or color or any other status. And the most fundamental is the right to life. I mean, Lord have mercy. I mean, these people have spelled it out. It's just shocking that people don't see that, right? And now, okay, that's the United Nations. But here in the United States, we have rights. We have the Bill of Rights. We have the Constitution, and it's funny that long before the United Nations put this out, it was the founding fathers of the United States, because they were very brilliant. They were very foresighted, and they said it's almost, the United Nations almost copied it. They said, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the government. In other words, government doesn't give you the rights. Those rights come from your creator. Government is there to secure the right. In other words, the rights that we get from God, government is supposed to make sure that no one takes those rights away from us. And the Democrats don't do that. They do the opposite. They take away your human rights. That's what they do. So look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm referring to my brief that I told you. I got a link in my brief about rights. The title of it is called Real Rights, Fake Rights, and Human Rights. You hear a lot of talk about rights, and often it's ignorant, and often it's just propaganda. For example, women's rights. There's nothing the left and the media love to talk about more than women's rights. Guess what? There is no such thing as women's rights. That is a propaganda slogan. There's no such thing as women's rights. There's no such thing as men's rights. There's no such things as gay rights or animal rights. As the Constitution says, and also as the United Nations says, we have rights regardless of, these universal rights are inherent to us all, regardless of nationality, sex. But okay, I've already said it like 3 times. I'm not going to say it again. There is a set of rights that all human beings enjoy, and that's it. There's no special rights carved out for any special groups. If you ever hear anyone use the phrase women's rights or gay rights or even animal rights, you can tell them with full confidence that they are an idiot, that they are a moron, that they are engaging in propaganda slogans, and that what they are talking about doesn't even exist. Okay, we all human beings have the same rights. Okay, and that's the point of this video, is that the baby in the womb, not a dog, not a cat, not a bird, is a human being. And according to the United Nations, and more importantly for me, according to the Constitution of the United States, all human beings have the right to life. Okay. And so, as the Democrats love to do, they love to deny your constitutional rights. They don't want you to have guns, even though it's a constitutional right. They want to destroy your vote by allowing any old person to vote. All right. And therefore, if you have illegal aliens voting and you have voter fraud and they steal elections, if you steal elections and you allow voter fraud, you're basically nullifying my vote to right. So they don't care about your right to vote. They don't care about your right to bear arms. But more horribly and disgustingly here on this topic, they don't even care about your right to life. That's why whenever there's a school shooting or something like that, it is so disgustingly hypocritical and so shallow when they come out and they say, oh, kids are dying, you got to take. They don't give 2 shits about children or kids or any human life. They just want to take advantage of a tragedy to take away your other constitutional rights, which is your rights to bear arms. Democrats are horrible on this subject. And quite frankly, this may offend women out there, but a lot of women voters are horrible on this subject too. You would think that a woman of all people would understand the miracle and the feeling and the idea of a life, the life, the precious life growing within you, and it's dependent on you. When you're a baby in the womb, it's your world, the safest place you should be. And the idea that your very own mother would just sort of reach in there with a vacuum tube and suck you up and rip you to pieces and throw you in a trash can behind Planned Parenthood is just abominable. It is absolutely abominable. But women, much like men, or all people, just have been unfortunately propagandized and brainwashed by the by the media and the left over all these years, and they don't, and people these days just don't have a value on life. They just don't have and that's and not to change the subject, but that's what's causing school shootings, not guns. It's just no value on life. We've had guns forever, but we've only had school shootings in recent times. In the context of how long the United States has been around, what is it now? We're up to well, we're getting close to, no, it's about what, 250 years, give or take, whatever it is. 250 years. In the context of 250 some odd years, school shootings are relatively brand new, but guns have been around forever, right? So guns are not the problem. It's the lack of understanding of the preciousness and the gift of life and the miracle of life and the importance of life, the value of life. Much of the society has lost the value of life. That's why you see horrible videos on just kids just ripping into kids, and people flying over the counter at McDonald's or Taco Bell and just ripping the hell out of the employee, and just people beating the hell out of each other in grocery stores, and people lost their minds. They have no more value of life, and this has been caused by the left and the Democrats who've reduced life to nothing. Oh, a baby, oh yeah, you can suck that, you just throw it away. So please, what I'm saying about abortion is true, but the only real way that this issue will ever really get tackled is when hearts and minds change. Because like all crime, there's a lot of crimes on the books, and yet people commit crimes every day, and people go to prison. That's why we have prisons, because people don't give a shit about the law and they commit crimes anyway. So sure, we could make abortion illegal and as it should be, and then the argument is, well, that's not going to stop abortions. Well, that's true, but guess what? Rape is illegal, and that doesn't stop rape. And stealing is illegal, but stealing still happens, and on down the list. And that's why we have jails. But the only way to really stop that stuff is to change hearts and minds and change the cultural attitude on life. But anyway, please visit the links that I put in the description of this video. And remember, life, your life, and anyone's life is the most fundamental human right, and here in the United States, constitutional rights. You as a human being and you as an American citizen have the right to live. That's why if someone kills you, we'll throw them in jail for murder. You have the right to live, not because you're a certain size or a certain age or whatever, a certain status. It's simply because You're a human being. And this is just a scientific fact. The baby in the womb is a human being. Regardless of the stage of development, it doesn't matter. You're a human being from the moment of conception, whether you're an embryo, you're a zygote, you're a fetus, you're a baby, you're a toddler, you're a child, you're a teenager, you're an adult, you're a senior citizen, you're an octogenarian. You see what I'm trying to say? These are all just labels of different stages of your life and your existence. But throughout all your life, you are a human being. Throughout your entire, from death to adulthood, teenage, child, baby, fetus, conception. It doesn't matter where you're at. You don't magically turn into a human being somewhere along the middle over here. You're a human being and you have human rights. And your most fundamental right is the right to be alive. And the last person that should ever kill you is your mom. Anyway, that's the video for today. They say that's a losing issue for the Republicans, but I made a video about it anyway. You know why? You know who it's a real losing issue for? All the murdered children. So that's it. Terry O here from the bunker. Visit our Real News Links website, Great American Real News Links. Links to all real news plus more. And also our discussion forum. And I will see you in the next Great American video. Adios, muchachos.